In every company, in every locker room, and on every project, there are two types of leaders. There's usually a staircase leader, or you have an elevator leader. One is willing to scratch and claw and step on whoever to get where they're going. The other builds a vessel that carries his entire team to the common goal or even their individual goals. Everyone rises together. I went to go see the Odyssey recently. I'm a big fan of Greek mythology. It's one of those things since 7th or 8th grade always stood out to me. I love the stories. This movie in particular did a very great job of humanizing the whole thing. But Odysseus as a character was a leader. He literally won the Trojan War. He used the Trojan horse, and I mean, sorry if this is a spoiler alert, you know, if you somehow didn't find out what happens in the 3,000 plus years that this has been out, you know, I apologize. But ultimately, when you watch the entire thing as an adult, it comes back to me, and I realize that Odysseus, despite winning the Trojan War and making it home and the big romantic love story that the Odyssey kind of is in a way, he's the only one who made it back. The entirety of his crew died throughout this process, following him as a leader. He's cunning. He's known as like the most clever Greek. Everybody has things to say about him. He gets all the glory. But at the end of the day, he was a horrible leader. He led his men through numerous islands into Cyclops and crazy witches and, you know, other things like that. His hubris actually created the whole problem with Neptune. That's a whole nother side story. We don't need to get into the entirety of the Odyssey, but understand that sometimes it's those charismatic leaders who always find a way to win and squeak out unscathed. Those are not the leaders that we need to try to be. And sometimes you have to recognize when the leadership that you're under or the leadership that you're giving is a staircase leader. So to juxtapose that, we want to talk about other leadership, elevator leadership. The elevator leadership, I can point to none other than Monkey D. Luffy, soon to be hopefully king of the pirates from One Piece. If you haven't watched One Piece, it's an anime, it's a manga, and they have a live action on Netflix. Monkey D. Luffy wants to be king of the pirates, and what he chooses to do is identify talent, find people, see their potential, people that don't even believe in themselves, and brings them on board. And every single member of his crew that joins, they're joining knowing that he's going to help them accomplish their goal. And not only that, that's part of it. He's encouraging them. He's saying, come with me and I will help you achieve your goal and you can help me achieve mine. It's a partnership. And that kind of a leader inspires so much in people. And that's the kind of thing that I think stands out. That is the quintessential elevator leader. If you join his team, you will rise together. You will be a part of something bigger, and everyone grows. In the business world, I've negotiated multi-millions of dollars in contracts for athletes and entertainers. I've been in sports and entertainment for 10 plus years, and you get to see lots of different kinds of leadership. And unfortunately, the staircase leader is often the one that's most rewarded. They're the hustler. They fought their way up. They keep getting opportunities despite the fact that their other opportunities failed. They oftentimes take all the credit for the work of the people they hire and the people underneath them, and they get all the glory at the end. This is the kind of guy who, you know, their company fails, but they get a better job because of it, and they can cut all their losses, but somehow they still rise. The elevator leader is something entirely different. This is the person who sees your potential. They bring you on when you may not even be close to what your goals are. They help you achieve those goals. They check in. They're always trying to find ways to add value to you, have you in meetings just so you can get mental reps and see other sides of the game. Those are the leaders that really make a difference in the world. And in my scenario here, Monkey D. Luffy, who also, I think it's funny that they're both like on ships. Odysseus is sailing around the Mediterranean. Luffy is sailing all over the Grand Line. But the idea of looking at both of these styles of leadership and realizing that the leaders who collaborate, the leaders who are looking to uplift, the leaders who are finding ways to bring the best out of people, those are the leaders that we want, and those are the people you have to recognize as the top of the top, the ones that really make it in the end in many ways, because they're building bridges while staircase leaders are constantly burning bridges. As someone paying attention to this, whoever's watching, we have to then analyze ourselves. What kind of leadership style do we have? Whether you're a parent, whether you're a friend, whether you're a business leader, or whether you're someone like many of us in the position of following other people, Can you recognize what kind of leadership you're under? Because it takes reflection to understand whether you're adding value to the people around you or you're just trying to use their skills to fill gaps so you can ultimately get to your goal. In both of these cases, these leaders are often charismatic. They're often just can't hear no. They push through. They're stubborn and they're going to fight to the death. But it's about how. It's about how they approach things. Are they approaching things as collaboratively as possible, or are they just trying to get what they need so that they can get their end outcome, not even questioning what the goals and aspirations and dreams of their team really is? That's what we have to pay attention to. I think it's important to really understand that the leadership dynamic is only half the battle. The other piece is, number one, are you a good leader or a bad leader? Are you a staircase leader or an elevator leader? In my opinion, many of the staircase leaders aren't self-reflecting very much. They lack that situational awareness, and I see it all the time in business. The people who they're dead set on an idea. Anyone who tells them otherwise in constructive criticism are just haters, but ultimately they are going to do whatever their own way, and unfortunately a lot of them fail and their teams fail by following that type of leadership. The elevator leader is the one where they want all of their crewmates, their teammates, to become like them. They want them to learn from their own mistakes and help them achieve their own goals. And those are the people that run the companies where somebody leaves, but they leave because they're the CEO of a different company, or they decided to start their own entrepreneurial journey. And usually those bridges that are built from the elevator leader, those last a long time, and you never know when someone you helped is going to come back and pour into you or give you an opportunity, and you're constantly building bridges versus the other side, which is the staircase leader who's constantly burning bridges. So for us, take some reflection. Think about what kind of leader you are and recognize who you're following. Are the leaders that you're working for, are they not the right people? Are they not the leadership style that you trust? Are they staircase leaders who are just using your skills to get to their goals and they're going to take all the credit? It's worth the reflection. And I think as a parent especially, it's one of those things I try to constantly examine and think of, am I being my best? Am I helping everyone in the household and all of my teammates at work? Am I helping them grow and helping solve problems for them? Or am I just taking knowledge and taking other things? And it's a constant examination. Sometimes you can go back and I'd love to see in the comments if you look at who your leaders were. Who do you look up to the most? Who do you admire the most in history? What kind of leaders were they? I'd love to hear from you who your favorites are, and what other leadership styles can you identify that are out here in the marketplace? There's so many different personalities and so many different industries dominated by different kinds of people. I'd love to hear what your experiences are. So this has been Off the Clock. I'll catch you soon.